I quit. I quit things all the time. There's this rumor that quitting is a negative thing. And don't get me wrong. If you quit and then you give up, then that is a bad thing. But sometimes quitting is absolutely necessary. It's mandatory in order for you to survive and to thrive and not get yourself in a position where you do give up. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of me quitting. And another example that has nothing to do with me that I always look back at and I say, man, that's a good example of a positive quitting. One, I quit Pizza Hut. Did I give up on myself? No. I quit that career because I knew I had more to give than just being a manager of a Pizza Hut. I quit that job. I'll be honest with you. When I quit that job, a lot of people in my family, my close friends, they asked me what was wrong with me. Like I was doing something bad. I'm like, I'm quitting a job, the first ever job I'd ever had. I literally started it when I was in high school. I'm a loyal person. I just stayed. Next thing I know, I've been here for 8 years. Like, guys, I'm RJ. I've got more to give in this life than being a manager of a Pizza Hut. Was that a negative thing? No. I've literally now made millions of dollars in my career as an entrepreneur. I've been able to impact tens of thousands of people, if not more, with content, buying and selling houses. I mean, think about how many lives have been impacted just with me being an entrepreneur, period. Between buyers, sellers, title companies, contractors, vendors, affiliate partners, you guys watching these videos. Hopefully I've impacted your life. That none of that happens if I don't quit. If I just stick there and I go, okay, I'm going to work my way up the corporate ladder, I would be miserable. And all those lives that I've impacted probably would have been impacted by someone else on some degree, but I wouldn't have been able to. And in return, I wouldn't be fulfilling my purpose. Titanium Investments, we quit texting. It was inevitable that was going to have to change in our business in order to maintain our wholesale operation at the volume and the revenue levels that we needed. We had to quit texting. We had to go to something else, and we went to PPL. And what happened? The results increased for us because we quit. You guys know I'm a huge New England Patriots fan. So I'll use the example of Bill Belichick. He was heavily scrutinized early on in his career for quitting on some players. He quit on Lawyer Malloy, Richard Seymour. I mean, these are key integral parts of the defense that won Super Bowls. And he moved on before they were out of their prime. See, it's one thing to cut a player, trade a player when it's like, yeah, they're outside of their prime. We're moving on from them. These players were still in their prime, and he quit. He said, I'm moving on. And then later on in his career, people would look back at that and say, those moves that he made, that decision to quit on Lawyer Malloy, that decision to move on from Richard Seymour, those were some of the integral moves that he made to maintain the personnel that was needed for the dynasty. Quitting was actually a positive thing for the New England Patriots. So I say all this to say, if you are in a position right now and you are thinking about needing to shift gears somewhere in your life, but you're afraid to do it because you feel like you're quitting on something, what you need to really analyze is, it's like, hey, if I quit this one thing, how is it going to improve the results? How's it going to improve my life? Don't fear quitting something and just being loyal to it, or being afraid to admit that you're wrong. Another example of me quitting something was in 2020 when we decided we're no longer going to flip houses. We're no longer going to be a landlord. We're going to go all in on our hedgehog concept of being a nationwide virtual wholesaler. I look back at that and I say, if we had not made that decision as a business, there is a solid chance that we are out of business today. A lot of people would have said that we quit. We did. We had to. We had to survive. We had to become better. We didn't give up. We quit on something that wasn't working. So do you have something right now in your business, in your life, that's just not working? It's okay to quit that. I mean, I quit eating what I was eating. Now I've lost 25 pounds. Does that make me, I'm a quitter? If that means I'm a quitter, then all right, color me a quitter. I'm okay with that because my life's getting better. We're afraid to say I quit something because it feels like that translates to someone that you're giving up. No. If you were to quit something and then just give up on wholesaling, okay, or give up on your entrepreneurial career or give up on your dreams, then that's a whole different story. If you're just quitting a lead generation tactic, not eating healthy, maybe quit on a relationship that's toxic to your mindset, that's okay. Do what you need to do to put yourself in the best position possible. And don't be afraid of what other people are going to say about, well, you quit. I was so afraid at different points in my life. Part of the reason why I probably hung around Pizza Hut for as long as I did. Part of the reason why I continued to buy houses, even though I knew our flips were failing. Quite frankly, part of the reason why I got so significantly overweight, because I didn't want to go to dinner with my son's hockey team and all the families and say, I can't eat the pizza. I'm not going to have 2 or 3 beers because I'm trying to watch out for myself. It felt that social pressure. I didn't want to be that guy. So instead, I got fat. That was a terrible decision. Why would I'd much rather have been, quote unquote, made fun of or not fit in or something along those lines and been healthy and not get to the point where I'm ashamed of the way that I look and I don't feel comfortable in the clothes that I'm wearing. That was a terrible decision to not quit something. Don't wait until you're to the point where it's like, I have to, or I'm going to have to give up. Don't force yourself into that position. When you think about shifting gears anywhere in your life, right? Whether it's, professional, health-wise, personal, you need to think about how is this going to impact me and not worry about how's it going to impact me in the eyes of others. Think about that. One of the things I've realized over the course of my time of being an entrepreneur is that if you don't reframe how you view perceived failure and you focus on solving those problems and you're more focused on that perceived failure, it will mentally crush you to the point where you would almost rather just give up. It was one of the hardest things in my life was 2019, where I knew nothing was going right. I knew it was directly due to my lack of leadership It was the decisions that I had made and that perceived failure, right? The fact that to like even say these words that I'm saying now, I could not say them back then. Even though I knew it, I didn't want anyone to perceive me as a failure. My family, my friends, the team, they all knew we were failing. They could see it. They could see it on my face. But I didn't want to admit it. And so I just kept going instead of like just drawing a line in the sand and saying, stop. So we just kept going until it eventually, I'll be honest with you. One of the things that was beneficial in the decision of quitting flips was COVID. I don't want to say I'm thankful for COVID because, of course, I'm not. I mean, there were so many people that were negatively impacted by it, but it did stop us from going down that path where we feared that perception of failure. And so we were able to put the plan together and say, okay, hedgehog concept, nationwide virtual wholesale, and this is what we're going to do for lead generation. We're going to get rid of the bad deals. We're only going to focus on this. And because of that decision to quit doing what was not working, we're still here today. We were able to turn the tide and start working our way back up. What I want you to take away from today's video is analyze your life across the board. This is not just strictly about wholesaling or being an entrepreneur or anything like that. Anywhere in your life, if you need to make a change and you need to shift gears somewhere, do not be afraid to say, I quit. I am changing. I am doing something different because this is not how I want my life to. You only have so much time. So much has gone on over the past couple of weeks in our lives where multiple people have passed away that we've known. There's sickness and illness in both mine and Cassie's family. We only have so much time. That clock is ticking every single day. Do not waste that time being afraid of what social pressure might say, or you're afraid to think that you're a failure because you quit on something. I don't think any single person watching this video now thinks I'm a failure for quitting Pizza Hut or quitting just eating whatever everyone else eats and saying, no, I need to focus more on eating healthy. No one sits there and thinks that we're a quitter because we stopped sending SMS text messages and went to PPL. It's okay to say I quit. In fact, you probably need to do it more often to take care of yourself. Put that safeguard around you and say, it's okay to say I quit. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give me a like. Appreciate you guys. Let's go have a great week.